I have spent $5,500 on maintenance, keeping it ready to go, so I could ride it if it would snow enough where we need a
Okay.
snowmobile.
We're going to go ahead and call the meeting to order, January 5th, 2017, 9 a.m., Finance Committee meeting. Amanda, call the roll, please.
McTaggart?
Here.
Alt?
Here.
Sills?
Right?
Curtis?
Yes.
Johnson? Yes. Anderson?
Ready. Randy's absent. Do we have any public comments today? Seeing no public comment. Randy Schultz, liability and general insurance update.
Well, as is normal, after the budget gets approved, there's a lot of changes. Sheriff added a Chevy Tahoe, removed the Yukon, added the 2 interceptors, and he was about to remove one of the interceptors to replace that. So all of that's happening, or has already happened. And then the highway department added a chip spreader and Ford F-350, so those are happening. There was a auto claim presented by the highway department from yesterday, or day before yesterday. Doesn't look like it's going to be a big claim, but there's going to be one of the pickups got rear-ended in Crescent at the four-way stop, so that one's going to be a claim. And then we've had 2 slip and falls here, and there's some discussion going on about one of them was denied by workers' comp care because it was in the parking lot on the way to work, where it wasn't at work yet, and so we submitted that to the general liability adjuster, and they think it should be a workers' comp claim, so they're discussing it. I think that in likelihood that it's going to get paid, but well, it's below the deductible. They don't want the county to pay it either because they don't want the county to assume any liability until they decide what they want to do. Nobody's really worried about the $700 or $800 claim. It's whether or not that turns into something bigger. There's back problems later, something like that. That's really what's going on. So they're just asking for more time to try to fight through all the details and get everybody to agree what's going on. So that's where we're at right now.
What's that? The last part, that claim is in our claims list, so we need to remember that when we get to there and pull up for more time. We just need to remove it for right now. As for our...
It's under the liability, yeah, that's the page it's on. It's to IMH. Page 3, the claim to IMH. $878.50.
Go ahead when we get to the claims later on the agenda. But any other questions for Randy? No? All right, thanks, sir. Thank you. Susie Warner, group insurance.
We had our Medicare Advantage open enrollment meeting back in December for the retirees. We did have just got 2 stop in. Nobody had made any changes, but we have recently become aware of a change that Health Alliance has made to their preferred pharmacy. They did not notify us, but letters have gone out to the retirees. In the past, Walmart has always been the preferred pharmacy where they could go and get a preferred generic for a zero copay. They've made the change to Walgreens as the preferred pharmacy. They can still go to Walmart, but it's just going to cost them $10 instead of a zero copayment. So I've gone back to our rep asking for an exception because we were not notified, and there are no Walgreens out in this area, and so people who are on a fixed income, this could potentially be a little bit of an issue. So as soon as I have an update back from our rep at Health Alliance, I'll be in touch with Anita to let you know how we're going to move forward with it. Other than that, things have been quiet on our end, which is a good thing.
Any questions for Susie? Thank you. Department head report. Mindy.
I don't have anything.
Lisa.
Nothing.
Tom.
The only thing I have is you can see that the grant name for information behind. I'm not a conference. I'll be in a conference. Well, I'll have a conference call this afternoon about this issue. Statewide, we haven't got
good explanation, other grant agencies coming in. The report shows that for like TD and state attorney, so hopefully have some answers this afternoon about this. We are going to get it, which is why it's so behind, so that's all I have.
Ida?
Nothing other than the dispatch contract, and then the project.
All right, we'll get back to that. Bob?
Quickly, the board review complaints, time period has come to an end, so they're working on those. We did have one large request. Kyle received a letter from my office by statute about the reduction of over $100,000 in assessment. I went to Jonathan yesterday afternoon and investigated, to get take a look around. They have two facilities, one in town and one in Hooper or Hopper. Well, there's been an error by the assessor, a big error on where he put certain bins. So I recommend to the finance that we don't intervene and let me try to figure it out and clean it up and try to come to some kind of a satisfactory agreement with the co-op. That's my recommendation to the finance. Now, other taxing bodies could have a different opinion, but that's my recommendation to you guys. Okay.
That's what you're paid for, Bob. We need to step in, throw our weight around. Yeah, keep up the good work. B?
Definitely through tax committee, or health committee on Tuesday, we had a Board of Health meeting last night. John Scher was our Board of Health president. He resigned effective January 1st. So our vice president, Dr. Reddy, ran the meeting last night. They elected two officers. The new Board of Health president is Michelle Fairley. Vice president is still Dr. Reddy, and the secretary is Lisa Braymeyer. And then on the Board of Health Finance Committee that meets on the month that the Board of Health does not meet, John Scher's replacement is Marvin Stignos. Those were who the board elected last night.
Okay. Eric?
At the last finance committee meeting, I had a claim for repair to Area Life for $574.60. I thought that was going to go under the previous fiscal year. That was my intention. Because of late delivery and a rule that I was not aware of, so my fault. It's going to go under this fiscal year. So I'm going to, as of right now, I'm spending more money than what I thought in my office expense line item, which is a total of $1,700 for fiscal year 17. I'm working on getting some things that I planned on purchasing donated, and I have a year to pinch pennies, so I'm not panicking, but just want to let you guys know that. I ask you for any more money. I know Anita's been waiting for my fourth quarter claim for my EMPG grant. I haven't got that back yet, and as soon as I do, I'll give it to her. Besides that, that's all I have.
Did I miss anybody? Discussion on joint dispatch items. Contract, dispatch contract. NIDA, give us a little update on that.
Just want to let the board know there's 38 total contracts and all but 6 that came back. I know 4 that are out is Mr. Devine has actually talked to. It's just a couple word changes that they're requesting on, and it's like the hospitals, stuff like the way that it's worded compared to government agencies. And so we're waiting on those to come back. There's 2 that could possibly be challenging these. I've been talking to Chairman Scher, and we're going to be attending board meetings next week to try to work that situation out. But the board, it's your contract. I need to be thinking about what happens if they refuse to sign it. And what these are for is everybody pays into 911, and 911 has to provide a service, which we have to deliver the call to the appropriate agency, whether it be fire, police, or EMS. And these are everything that we do outside of 911 calls. So it's what those they're called communication contracts. They are not 911 contracts, and they are between the county board in each individual agency that we provide dispatching services for in Iroquois County.
Any questions about any of that? I guess we'll wait. You guys are going to go to a meeting next week, see how that goes. So no point in blowing it up today.
Correct.
Arbitration estimate, which kind of goes back in the NIDA's purview. Do we have that? I need to...
I didn't make a copy of it, I'm sorry, I forgot that we were going to do that. Do you want me to just tell you?
Highlight.
I just pulled up the numbers. There are two different components to labor's request. One, they believe it should go back to January 1st of 2015. So based on what they want to have happen, if we lose, the back pay alone will cost us $163,291. And then if we lose the salary portion, the first year increase in FY16 will be $92,137. Year 2, $20,088. Year 3, $19,791.
Is this something new we learned?
No.
This is just
This is from,
everybody, yeah, just
okay, from arbitration.
summarizing
From
the numbers.
Okay.
Russell.
Well, has the arbitrator looked at it?
Oh, yeah, he's got it.
Has he made a decision?
No.
Okay, so this liability we're talking about, dealing with our contract of, can we say where the contract's at?
Which the
Yeah, who's this contract with?
telecommunicators.
Oh, the,
Right.
yeah, so,
So the arbitration hearing is done. I think we can say that. And right now, the two sides were waiting for the transcript from the hearing. As of yesterday, they still hadn't gotten it. So once they get the transcript, they have 30 days to write a brief and give it to the arbitrator. And once the arbitrator receives their briefs, he has 60 days to give a ruling. So we're 90 days out. We expect the transcripts any day. We've gotten, or a bill is supposed to be on its way to me. I haven't gotten it yet, but it should be here any day. So if they billed us for doing the transcript, the court reporter that was here that day, I assume she's done, but I don't know that. But we expect that bill any day. And then, so we think the transcripts will be around any day.
Easily accessible since if the county would win the arbitration, what the numbers are, just for...
I don't think I have it right here. I'm going to monkey around and probably say something incorrect.
You want to do that?
No. Sorry.
So considerably less.
It
Well-
is considerably less.
so this potential liability that we've been aware of for a while, it seems like it's getting larger and larger.
Yeah.
hmm So, but since it's out of our control at this point,
That it is.
all we do is throw gas on a fire that's not necessary.
Taking in, where are the numbers?
Yeah. Potential liability.
Okay. Speaking of throwing gas on a fire, next on the agenda, discussion on future funding of capital expenditure projects.
Mm.
Kind of ties in with the following line item, discussion on revolving loan funds. When the policy meeting, we discussed this again as far as the putting money, taking the money back out of capital improvement, putting it into start another revolving loan fund. Trying to think about the Ken came and was that 2 months ago it started?
I think it was just last month.
Last month at finance. Then we had the policy. Okay.
Well,
Go ahead, Russell.
Well, it started months ago when the state said, okay, the money we gave you for this given purpose, you can use it for whatever you want. And so at that point, they got moved out of the original location of that and got put in the capital expense fund. There's some thoughts on maybe we should use it for the original thought. And so that's what's slowed everything down, and creating a new fund, we can put it back in the same line item we had it at. The only thing is, we won't have the state guidelines going over it at that point, because the state said we can do whatever we want, and that's one of the challenges. Now, I do know there's cost with bouncing this around. There's been cost with it all along, especially in some given offices. But,
Charlie?
I don't know where we should move it to until we find out if we're setting up our own one in the county, and we are a long, long way
Yeah,
before.
Right. We can't let it go under the rug.
Let it sit there until we know where it goes, unless
know.
it's impossible to leave it there. You know what I mean? Is there any problem if it's left there?
Anyone want to talk to, obviously moving it into the capital expenditures, I think you guys said last time, some much better move than moving it into the general fund or something
Yeah,
like
we
that.
lose it, yeah.
Yeah, but is there anything earmarked for that money currently, or it's
No.
just as it sits now, just a rainy day for CapEx?
It was just like a rainy day, it was dropped out of the sky. Doesn't happen
So it's
around
not-
here, don't get used to it.
It's not-
It doesn't happen.
I know the city of Illinois doesn't give out money.
There was discussion forming an ad hoc committee. I'm not sure where that applies, but I guess the reason it's on the agenda, if we move it out of capital expenditures, and this kind of goes back to the management committee too, there has to be some sort of forethought as to how we're going to fund capital expenditure projects, capital improvement projects, before nothing happens quickly in government and here. Especially, but there has to be some sort of plan, and
Do we have a capital? We do, don't we have a capital expenditures budget?
and what's the funding left in that?
By the estimated by the end of next year will be about 47,000. It's higher than the 3, but based on where we're at right now, I'm estimating 47,000 as of November 30th of 2017.
And it was as high as,
Well, it was about 250,000
Yeah.
when I started 4 years ago, 4 years ago.
40,000 can go like a whim in improvements anyway.
one
They're
pickup
not
truck.
cheap anymore. you know.
Yeah.
Try another roof or something, you know.
Yeah.
we don't have that issue.
Keeping the heat on.
So,
New furnace.
I don't know, if you want to have more discussion on it, if the committee's going to be forced to do more as far as the revolving loan fund ad hoc, figure out, just a matter of a point here, we need to make sure we can fund some sort of capital project, otherwise, they're going to be funded, so we got to figure out how we're going to fund them, I guess. Any other discussion on news items? Ken, you want to add anything new? Or anything?
Not a lot, probably I could add. I did chat with one of the guys we used to call when we were doing revolving loan options or applications. I did chat with him. I was just kind of curious why, how this whole thing happened. The federal government I wasn't here in December, so I don't know if Mindy had told you this, but the federal government had to draw a line in the sand, he called it, and they picked 1992 as where to draw the line. And every revolving loan, I was told once by somebody that they had canceled everyone in the state. That wasn't true. They drew that line, and so every program that was started before 1992, federal government decided they didn't have any strings attached to it anymore, so they let that go. That's the reason our state that needs money so bad didn't take the money, because it's not their money, it was federal money. So that's how it ended up being dropped there. There was 170 some, I think, and change programs that were working, and 99 of them got canceled or dissolved like this one did. So I was just curious who, why, and how they decided they'd pass that money out. And the DCEO I'm prejudiced because I'd like to see it put back in, but the DCEO said that they would, their recommendation would be to try to keep it going as a private fund and mini cap, I guess. I don't have a list of it. That's about it.
John, you want to throw anything in there?
We're still trying to finalize on putting the committee together and have to see what that develops and comes of it.
All right. Any other discussion on those two line items on the agenda? Seeing none. They'll probably reappear in future months. Discussion of public safety tax ordinance. Does everybody have a copy of the proposed ordinance that's drafted by the state attorney? I think it was on just about every agenda in the county this month. And I wasn't in judicial. How did that go yesterday? What was it?
It was, the judicial committee approved the safety tax. In their report, they go coming from the board. I don't believe there was a lot of discussion or question about it.
Does anybody have any comments on the ordinance as it's drafted at this point?
You know, Mr. Chairman, I have not seen any other options that we have out here. This seems like pretty much the blank one that is used. I don't know what other counties have used or what other options we have, and I was hoping to see other options.
I don't know that, I guess I don't know what the other options might entail. Jim hasn't arrived yet, has he? They're busy over there, I understand.
Mm-hmm.
I guess we got to figure out what we want. If there's something in here that we want reworded, I mean, the biggest thing is implement the dang thing and move on. But we got to, figure out some verbiage if we're looking at something to change on here. Has anybody looked at it prior to today, I guess?
Yes, we have a sample copy sometime last month through that.
Donna?
Yesterday at judicial, I asked Jim Devine if there was any other information that he could provide us or any other questions that we should be asking. And he brought up that he had been asked about sales tax on internet sales. He said he didn't have an answer to that, but in the committee we decided, well, that was going to be whatever it was going to be anyway, so it really didn't have a bearing. We don't have the power to change however the sales tax is applied from internet sales, so that's really not going to affect it. So that's the only comment he had to make about it.
Yeah, sales tax is something controlled by the state of Illinois, and when it comes to internet sales, it depends on where the order entry point is, what states take the credit for it. There's all kinds of stuff that comes across from the state line right here in Illinois. There's no sales tax being paid for this reason or that reason. It happens all the time.
Didn't he say he makes this up by a combination of Champaign County and the state?
That's correct. He said, I can't remember exactly which part, but he had pretty much taken it out of the state ordinance, and he had added some wording from Champaign County. He had looked at Champaign County.
I think he said the last part was verbatim.
Yeah, he said the last part was verbatim, and I don't remember which part. He said, I think in the first part he took some out of, but I don't know exactly which.
I don't know if it needs to be put in this document or not, but I think we should have a clarification of what public safety entails and doesn't entail. I think there could be a wide variation of interpretations of what the funds could be used for.
Yeah, there's
Should know that before we get the money, otherwise they have different objectives by different people. It'll be interesting then.
think we threw that months ago before it was ever on the ballot, and I think we decided that, you know, there's a lot. Yeah, we got the number one players, we got the sheriff's department, we have our 911 people, telecommunicators, and then there's, you know, Mayor, we're talking all parts of our judicial system, like ESDA, transportation issues. I mean, there's a lot of different issues out there.
Exactly, that's the way I feel we should
But
have.
at the same time...
Should have some perimeters.
Right.
Come budget time, it'll be interesting what we call safety and what isn't.
It'd be like another capital improvement fund.
Yeah, I guess that'd be a good
I
example.
think it's probably spelled out in the statute.
I'm sure it is. I don't know that it's necessarily a bad idea to put it in there, and it's words, but I don't know.
Depends on what it says.
Yeah. Well, I don't think we can go against it, one way or the
I'm
other.
not saying that,
Yeah.
but
It'd be the tax of the bed bugs. Bed bugs.
Any other discussion on the ordinance at hand? I would suppose that Jim will be there on full board. That'd probably be a good time to, as a whole, to discuss it. And I would assume it's going to get a lot closer to being adopted come February.
Well, was it passed out of judicial? Did they approve it yesterday in judicial?
Yeah.
So why would we hold it up? Just for that clarification? When it's in a statute, that doesn't make sense.
It'll go to the board.
Well, I know, but is it at a point where we can just go ahead and make a motion so that it does go to the board?
No, the judicial send it to the board.
Judicial is, so it'll be
Right.
there anyway.
Right, it'll be at full board.
Any other discussion on the public safety tax ordinance? Seeing none. FY16 audit?
wait a minute.
Oops, sorry.
Going back to that though, as I understand it, we can, does that mean it's in and there'd be no other votes on it? Because I understand that we could vote on when it goes into effect and other terms of it, if we wanted to, attached to it, or is that need to be attached to this?
I think it's in this ordinance when it goes, it's July 1st. Effective date, the ordinance shall take effect on the first day of July next, following the adoption and filing of this ordinance with the Department of Revenue. So, it would be July 1st. If this ordinance, with the judicial is passed. Any other discussion?
If it goes in effect, can it be rescinded after that, say 2 years down the road or 4 years?
We would discuss that, it'd be another board vote to put it back on the agenda, or back on the ballot.
Can they?
It wouldn't have to go back on the ballot. The statute says that the county board can vote to determine whether it is and they decide. If they want to put it back into effect, then it would have to go back on the ballot and be approved by the board.
It's a very slippery slope. FY16 audit. Anita.
There's several of them going on. So today, this afternoon at 1 o'clock, our workers' comp insurance company will be here for the workers' comp audit. The reports are all ready. We have to take our salary for the year and total it all by the workers' comp job classification code. So that's typically already done for them. They usually spend less than an hour here, and then we tie it into all our quarterly reports so that they can see we're capturing all our salaries. So that will happen this afternoon. The public health agreed upon procedures for FY16. I received the one for the grant report, the engagement letter for the grant report yesterday. Again, it's time and material. Those two reports, there are two of them that we do those on. One is the grant report, and one is consolidated financial report. Those two, we just finished FY15 because we were late. We didn't know we had to do it. I want to do FY16 before the due date. They're due by May 31st, 6 months after the end of the fiscal year, to DHS. So the grant report I would like to have the auditors do while they're on site for the full audit, just to get that one out of the way. It is as of the state's fiscal year end, so June 30th. So I can get the work papers done. My goal would be to have the work papers done before the auditors arrive on the 17th, so that they can do that when they're on site here for the regular audit. And then the consolidated financial report has to tie into our audited financials, so I need that done first, so it'll be March, but I still want to try and get that done before May. So what I would like to do is get a motion to approve the engagement letter for at least the grant report, so that we can get them started working. They need to have this before they'll do any work on that project.
I'll make a motion. We should approve the grant engagement proposal.
I'll give it a second.
There we go. Any questions on this? Seeing none,
Done.
we'll go ahead and call the roll.
McTaggart?
Yes.
Alt?
Yes.
Bills?
Yes.
Curtis?
Yes.
Johnson? Anderson?
Yes.
Then the full audit by Clifton Larson Allen. I did give you two different reports on the November 30th numbers, so you can see what's happened between November 30th and now related to the fiscal 16 financials. The second page is as of last month's finance meeting, and then the top page dated January 5th is as of today. You can see in the general fund, I've booked so far about $114,000 worth of accrued expenses. By far, the greatest of these is the payroll accrual is in for all departments. So for the general fund, the payroll accrual was $108,000. It was 8 out of 10 days that got paid in December, really related to November. So I had to book those back into November. That's the biggest difference. The total payroll accrual was $137,000. So there's 14 for highway, 15 for public health. But it's really mostly general fund people. And then the biggest group left, public health, is all the way done. Of what I know so far, all their accruals are done. For other funds, general fund, highway fund, the highway expense accruals for all the retainage at the end of the year for the projects has to get booked yet, so that's usually typically hundreds of thousands of dollars. So that'll be a big impact on highway. Theirs will change a lot. General fund, expenses won't change much. Revenue will change because I haven't yet got all the tax accruals done. So I accrue all the taxes, including all the property taxes, etc. So all that has to go in yet. So the net difference will change, but expenses for general fund are almost all done. So work papers will have to be done before the 16th. The morning of the 16th, we have a holiday here. They are starting their work in the office. They need the trial balance by the 16th, the final trial balance. So everything's got to get booked by then. Questions? And you can see on general fund, right now we're $99,000 off our total budget. On a $5.3 million budget, we're less than $100,000 off, which is actually, last year we ended up about $43,000. That's how close we were to our budget. So we have a little more room this year than we did last year.
Close.
It is close. It's always close.
Trim work.
Any questions on the reports? Seeing none. Move on to the claims. in front of you. I need to remember.
Yeah, I'll make a motion that we pay these claims except for the one to the Iroquois Memorial Hospital, the invoice number 12/21/16 for the $879. We'll leave that off. We'll let the insurance companies deal with that.
Motion on the floor.
Second.
Seconded. Any questions on the claims as presented? Seeing none, clerk call the roll, please.
McTaggart?
Yes.
Alt?
Yes.
Bills?
Yes.
Curtis?
Yes.
Johnson?
Yes.
Anderson?
Yes. Old business. None. Any new business? Sure.
This was passed around as policy and procedure. I discussed it with Mr. Devine yesterday afternoon. It has to do with the Blunk loan. And it's something that Mr. Devine can address any questions you might have a lot better than I can. I want to make everybody aware of it. And it may be something that we'll have to look at the next meeting next month.
It's like the tax buyers want to take possession of
Right.
what we thought we had.
But we may have some
Previous
options
one.
associated with it that we decide what we want to do. I don't consider myself an attorney to be able to offer any opinions about it, so,
Is that the notification you got from the tax buyer
yes.
on the business property? I believe that one of the banks came in and paid those delinquent taxes off.
Okay, you know more about it than we do.
Do you have any documentation on
Get it from my office. I just heard it from, I think you mentioned it a couple days ago, that actually it wasn't First Trust, it was
Prospect, if I
Prospect
remember.
Bank. So I'm not sure how they,
that? Yeah, we probably should get a copy of it so we can put it with the original piece of paper we got
yes,
that
that's fine.
we're looking at today. That way it kind of explains why we did nothing. I guess this actually come out of P&P, that's where, oh, you got P&P, that's right.
Right.
That's why I didn't see it, or some of these folks have seen it. But,
Where does that leave it now then?
right now, it's back to where it was. There's really,
Somebody bought, or it's already paid the
Yeah,
taxes on it. That
somebody-
eliminates a lot of our options, so.
Why would they pay the taxes?
Why?
they go to the tax sale and buy them.
Well, yeah, but
They
What they
have a
want.
mortgage there too?
we can't get nothing out of it. Did anybody say what the property's worth?
Apparently, the bank thought it was worth something because they paid the taxes.
Well, that's what I'm getting at. We can't find out what it's worth.
How many years does it take before the bank could get possession of it?
You mean the tax buyer?
Yes.
Roughly 3 years. And I think that they had paid 3 years of delinquent taxes on that, so.
You said they're out. If they paid them?
Right.
Then
Yeah. Nothing we have to deal with.
the only reason the bank would have paid them is if they have an interest in it, so they must have a mortgage there too.
That could be
There's two
protecting
mortgages.
their interest.
I think are we the third one?
We're on the bottom of the list.
It's all there. I think we're the third one. But obviously they must think it's worth something.
Okay.
And I guess for us, the biggest question has to do with how that impacts on our interest in, the money that's owed to us. If we're not going to get anything out of it, then we need to write it off the books and forget about it. If we have an interest there yet, we need to be able to wear that and be able to protect it. So that's part of what I was hoping Mr. Devine could answer for us. But he'll probably be talking to both of you about it based on my conversations with him yesterday. So
Yeah, I don't think Mr. Devine was aware of what this information was.
no, he wasn't.
Yeah.
He wasn't.
And
That's why I
Mr.
said, but he said he
Devine,
was going to
I know what he'll say now.
investigate it further and so forth, but he had some meetings this morning, and he wasn't sure that he could be here, obviously he's not, so. That's
Yeah,
it.
only thing I would hope that Jim gets the information that we just received when he sees that.
Right, he has a copy of this, he made a copy of it yesterday, so
Mm.
definitely something that's not going to be overlooked or forgotten, so.
It'll just take Lisa like 5 minutes to print off a student that receives.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Any other new business? Seeing none. And a motion to adjourn.
And so moved.
Charlie Holt, is there a second? Ernie Curtis, all those in favor? Aye. Opposed? Motion carried. Adjourned.